Bayer Leverkusen created history last season with an unbeaten Bundesliga campaign to win their maiden league title. Xabi Alonso's side lost in the Europa League final, but still managed to win 2 trophies in the 2023-24 season. That's as many as Leverkusen had won throughout their history before that point. So it won't surprise you to know that the club wasn't always flying so high in the past, but they weren't down in the dumps either. They have consistently finished in the top half of the table for the majority of their Bundesliga history. But almost 2 decades ago, they were a completely different side when they made a punt on an under-21 German national playing for FC Nuremberg. The fairly unknown striker, Stefan Kiessling, was brought for a fee reported to be around 7.5 million euros back then. Kiessling would go on to become a cult hero after spending 12 years at the club. You actually might have remembered him if you've ever seen that infamous ghost goal. The ball was headed in by Kiessling from a corner and it ended up in the back of the net. The crowd roared and the referee pointed to the center, implying a goal had been scored, but the astute observers had noticed how Kiessling had reacted after the header, but started celebrating as soon as he saw a goal had been awarded. The culprit for this massive error was found to be a hole in the side netting. The ball went off target and hit the side netting exactly where the hole was, making it look like a goal. Hoffenheim players protested and even showed the hole to the referee, but he couldn't overturn the decision as these were the days before VAR existed. His story is relatively unknown but deserves to be told. The German was a rare breed as his loyalty to Leverkusen for 12 years came with 162 goals and 76 assists over 444 appearances. He retired as the second highest goal scorer in the club's history. This loyalty earned him the status of club legend for his consistent years of service, especially during the hard times. Let's watch how the young striker matured into one of the finest goal scorers in Leverkusen's history. He started his journey with Eintracht Bamberg's youth setup as a 16-year-old before moving to the under-19 side for FC Nuremberg. Kiessling then hit the double-digit mark for league goals in the 2005-06 season for the first time. Some Bundesliga clubs had kept a keen eye on his development, and Leverkusen were the first to follow up. They signed the striker in the summer of 2006 and made him a regular starter in the team. When he signed for Leverkusen, the plan was to play him alongside Berbatov up front, but the Bulgarian moved to Spurs that very summer. His 7.5 million euro price tag wasn't a small amount back then and added further pressure on him to perform. In his debut season for the club, he could only muster 8 goals and 5 assists over 44 appearances. He found it hard to settle in initially while being called the most expensive bratwurst from Nuremberg. But Kiessling was proving to be an extremely positive influence off the pitch. He was a role model for the youngsters right from the beginning of his career. He was a perfect fit for the era of towering strikers, standing at 1.91 meters. While he could list his stats and achievements, Kiessling offered something beyond numbers, an unbreakable bond with loyal supporters. Only a few players cultivate a lasting connection with fans that endures well beyond their playing days. Jamie Vardy and Marco Reus are prime examples of this rare and priceless relationship. If you think about it, Vardy and Reus have produced insane numbers on the pitch, but their most endearing quality is their loyalty and connection with the fan base. Stefan Kiessling falls right into that category. It was a tough start at the new club, but his determination in training kept him in the team. The underwhelming debut season was behind him and he continued to work hard. The next season yielded similar output in the Bundesliga with 9 goals and 5 assists, but the 7 goals and 4 assists across just 12 appearances in the UEFA Cup displayed what he was capable of. The upcoming Euros in the summer of 2008 were abuzz with anticipation of getting national call-ups. Kiessling had been called up for international friendlies and Euros qualifiers during the 2007-08 season, but was not given even a single minute on the pitch. This was after he had already made his debut in a friendly against Denmark in 2007. Germany manager Joachim Löw did not call him up for the Euros in 2008 either. The lack of opportunities to showcase his talent must have been frustrating, but you wouldn't know that from his usual demeanor and constant positivity. He would take things at face value and respond by doing everything in his control to improve himself. With the 2010 World Cup on the horizon and Germany among the favourites, he had something to prove following the 2008 Euros to elevate his standing in the national team. Kiessling delivered that season, scoring 12 goals and providing 9 assists in the Bundesliga. His second cap for Die Mannschaft came in February 2009, almost 2 years after his first one. This was limited to a 22-minute cameo against Norway in a friendly. Everyone knew that the 2009-10 season was also an addition for the South Africa World Cup. The German striker came out of his shell and scored 21 goals in the league, only one less than the top scorer Edin Dzeko for Wolfsburg. Deservedly, he was called up for the World Cup, in which Germany finished third, but Lowe only needed him as a reserve option and gave him 7 minutes to play against England, and finally 17 minutes in their third place playoff against Uruguay. This took his total caps to 6 by 2010. Kiessling had neither hit his prime, nor would he retire for another 8 years, but his national caps would remain the same regardless. This became especially controversial after he had his best ever season outscoring Lewandowski in the league, but was slumped again. Joachim Low justified it by saying he wasn't fit for the playing style, but calling up 12 midfielders in a 22-man squad with only one striker must have been especially hurtful to see for Kiessling. Less than a year before the 2014 World Cup, Podolski, Klose and Mario Gomez were injured at the same time. The most recent Bundesliga Golden Boot winner was Kiessling with 25 goals in 2012-13. He had started the 2013-14 campaign on fire as well, with 5 goals in 8 games. He was the most logical choice to be included in the friendlies, but Lowe decided that one striker was enough. But the player was fed up with being treated as a cut below the rest. In August 2013, he broke his silence on the issue through a post on Facebook, which said there had been no contact for 3 years. While Leverkusen did play a more direct game as opposed to Germany's possession-based build-up, there was no reason the striker couldn't adapt to another style of play. He missed out on Germany's triumphant 2014 World Cup victory. After a point, he accepted his fate and couldn't care less whether Lowe was watching him play or not. He was only interested in doing best for Die Werkself and their passionate supporters. After scoring 25 goals in 2012-13, his goal output gradually declined over the years, but his inspirational spirit and the bond with fans only went up. During his prime years, Kiessling was offered a fair amount of opportunities to move to a bigger club, but he outright refused, claiming he had everything he needed in Leverkusen. The most important factor was the love from fans. After 12 years at the club, he retired in 2018 and immediately joined the club in an advisory capacity to the board. He had seen the action up close for so many years and was now happy to move on to the next phase in life. No other German has been able to score more than 25 goals in a Bundesliga season since he did. The number 11 for Leverkusen will be remembered in a completely different light to the recent players under Xabi Alonso. He was a legend who treated the club with the utmost respect for giving him a chance. Even without winning silverware, he is the most popular figure in Leverkusen's recent history. He displayed a rare breed of loyalty that is hard to uncover in the modern day and became a huge part of the club's history. His consistency in front of the goal and his behaviour off the pitch moulded him into a legend who won't be easily forgotten. Now, a ghost goal could probably never happen today with VAR around, but here's an interesting football morality question. Imagine it was 20 years ago and a ghost goal helps your team win a match. Would you agree that a rematch would be fair? Let us know below.